Hi everyone, I'm Eriu and welcome to Eriu Tarot Readings. As you know, it's been quite some time since I've put any content up on this channel. It's not that I didn't want to, but I did go off and experience life a little bit more and met some wonderful people too. So I'm hoping to bring that to the channel. I actually did try and make a few videos back in November and December. It did not work out, did not happen. But now I believe is the time. So I hope you've all been keeping really well. I hope that you are okay during this crazy time of a global pandemic. And I hope that whatever readings I give for you today, that they will help ease your mind in something. So let's get started. As I always say, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, something stronger, relax, and let's see what the month of August has in store for you.
Hello Gemini and welcome to your August reading. So slightly different format than what you're used to. Normally you see me shuffle on camera and putting out the cards and turning them and going over them. Well, I've just tried a different route this time, so bear with me. I think this works a little bit more with me, a little bit better. I get to marinate with the cards a little bit more, their energies. So let's see what's going on for you in August. So Gemini, the really big word that I keep hearing, and to be honest is backed up by the visuals of the card, is the word severance. Severance, goodbye, good luck, see you later. Now, severance doesn't have to be a bad thing. I really don't think it is for a lot of you, but let's really look at what that means in your reading for August. So, first card we have, the very start of August for you, is the Ten of Swords, and that's clarified by the Ace of Swords. What is the Ten of Swords? It's technically one of the worst cards in the deck. Yeah, it's not great now. But what's great about the number 10, especially in the tarot deck? Well, it means a completion, a finale, goodbye. That thing that's been overpowering you, that's been hanging over your head, that's finally coming to an end. And because we're dealing with swords, we're dealing with an energy that's something you're really used to. Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, we're looking at the logic, the mind, the cerebral processes, how we internalize our mental faculties. And so here, this is saying all those words that you heard, all those feelings that you had, that inner dialogue that may have been a self-saboteur-esque energy is finally leaving. So whatever's been going on for you the last few months, it could also be including the pandemic. This is goodbye. Good luck, goodbye. Now, if you look closely at this card, you'll see that there is somebody lying down with 10 swords in the back. People or someone may have given you those swords, but it's time for you to stand upright now. And I say that as well because you've got the Ace of Swords on your side clarifying it. Aces, lovely new beginnings, the purest energy of each card of an ace. So what we see here is you really come into your own. I don't think this is just a new beginning that's coming out of the blue for you. I think this is more so to do with your energy, and there's a little bit more fight, a little bit more fighting back coming into you. That spirit that you have, that jovial, childlike spirit that everybody loves about Geminis, was kind of dissipating over the last while, and it wasn't you. You weren't yourself. Ace of Swords, you're bringing that back in. You're taking control. That's your divine hand coming in with the sword and saying, no, I want to take better control of this and I want to live a better way for the rest of August. This is also representing how we say things, how we come across, our level of communication. So Gemini, if there are things that you want to say to people, be careful about how you say it. Think before you speak. That is one of your lessons for the month of August. You really need to keep a check on that. That's something that I think Geminis, it's a practice for you a lot of the time. You're very good at speaking, you're very good at interacting. I have a Gemini rising, so I like to talk, and this is also one of the reasons why I do tarot. But there are times where I may say the wrong thing, or I come across in a way that's doesn't really represent what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what you need to do for August. You need to check that a little bit more, because remember, the sword can be quite mighty. When you hold that sword, especially with the Ace of Swords here, and you swing that quite roughly, you cut a lot of people. So it's about understanding what it is you're trying to cut out, essentially. And that's really important here for you, because when we see mid-August here, we see the Five of Wands. So I say about battles and swinging that sword, again, extra clarity on being careful about creating arguments, what you say and how you say it, especially in groups of people. Five of wands and rods coming up here, saying that there is a bit of a crossroads with you. Sometimes this can mean that's within you, ourselves, again, having that inner dialogue, fighting against ourselves. But this might be actually what I feel is actually more important. What I see here is that it's you fighting against everything and everyone else. And sometimes you don't need to have that fight. When we come into moments of clarity within ourselves and when we don't put up with bullshit anymore or any crap whatsoever, we have this tendency to go into like fight mode, which is great because we're like, no, I'm going to take care of my business. I'm going to take care of who I am and nobody can tell me otherwise. These are my boundaries. But then sometimes we can lose the plot in that energy and go very, very strong into it when we have to realize that we don't always need to be on guard. So what is this Five of Wands doing here? Well, it's being clarified by the Empress card. Mother Earth here is being a gentle reminder to you to ground yourself a little bit more in the month of August. Again, you don't have to go in all guns blazing. She's a beautiful card, major arcana here. And this also could be somebody who is a mother-like figure to you. Might not even be maternal in the sense by blood, but somebody who you really look up to as maybe being an older woman who has really great wisdom. If you are around somebody like that, this is saying share their energy, take their energy. They're there to guide you a little bit more through whatever is going on. Just to actually say, which I should have said at the very start, that this reading is open to interpretation. So apply it to whatever area of your life that you see and more importantly feel fit. So she's here and she's saying, hey, look, I know you've had a rough time and I know you're ready to cut out the crap and there is a rejuvenation within you, but you don't have to kind of fight against all the barriers, okay? I'm also feeling this really strong like protest, rebellious side that's coming out in you for August, Gemini. And I think that's actually great because I love that energy, but it's about directing that accordingly. So that's why she's here. Ground yourself. Also get to nature a little bit more with her as well. If you feel like you're kind of flying off the handle a little bit more or things are just sparking you off, get out, get into nature, be by yourself and calm that mind because you know you've got the two twins and sometimes that inner dialogue can be a little bit tricky to deal with. So I get it. But not so bad reading as we go along. So we're looking at the last week here of August. We've got the Chariot, another major arcana, and that is clarified by the Six of Swords. So coming into this month of August, we're seeing a completion and ending, and then we see you not only ending something but moving away from things as well. I honestly feel at times this is more of a behavior within you, Gemini, as opposed to this a thing happening. It may feel like things externally are happening around you, but I think it's more about how you're internalizing them. Let's have a look. So the Chariot here, beautiful card, ruled by Cancer. And this is saying that things are moving quite swiftly for you. And you might be in the driver's seat doing that. And I see that energy as well because we've got the Ace of Swords and I really feel like that's you. Do take the wheel. You can move forward in ways that you want to go in. The direction though is really up to you. With this, sometimes if we think about the Chariot and how fast the wheels go, sometimes it can go very fast, other times it can go very slow. This is also coming up as a very think before you do moment, very much like the Five of Wands and very much like the Ace of Swords. Just take that moment to take stock. There is a lot of equilibrium within this card as well, and there are aspects of the yin yang and chiaroscuro, which is light and dark. So there is a balancing of oneself. I know there's a feeling of you wanting to move and get away, or just move past the energies that seem to be surrounding you that you know aren't fit for you anymore. That's clarified by the Six of Swords here. So the movement is physically in the Chariot card, but mentally as well, it's about you getting away from it. So whatever the things that have happened in the last few months that really haven't served you, that if you've come back and you've hit hard against, I see a moment within you at the end of August that's a little bit more peaceful, and you get to walk away from these things without that fire energy of the Five of Rods. You're going forward and you're going into something new and calmer. That's a great energy to go into. You will be taking some people with you along that ride. Not everyone gets to go, some loved ones, but I see you leaving a lot of things behind you. Also see some of you move as well. Some of you need to get away from where you currently are for whatever reason. Be it politically based, be it health reason based, all these things are coming into factors these days for people wanting to move, especially with the current pandemic, right? So I see you doing that, but the energy is different. I feel you're just a little bit more tired at the end of August because you've had this fighting spirit within you from the start to the middle and coming to the end. You're kind of ready to let all that go. You know, Six of Swords is an interesting card that sometimes people view it as turning your back on something. But for you in particular, I see this, you just really deciding that there's no more that you want to be part of. You're done. You've done everything you could and you're moving forward. So Gemini, it's actually really not a bad placement for you. That word severance comes to mind again when we look at this last card because we've got the swords here. You're taking what you've learned, especially in the mental area, and moving it along with you, and you're taking loved ones with you as well. Oh, so much calmer, Gemini. I much prefer that energy than I did at the start and middle of this reading, I have to tell you. Listen, Gemini, this has been your August reading. If you dig what I do, please like and subscribe and leave a little comment for me. That would be lovely. Also, if you'd like a private reading, you can contact me directly. My email address is below and I'll email you back. Until then, have a really good August, Gemini. Remember what I said. Just take that half a beat before you venture into anything, especially words. It's your speciality, but sometimes we trip ourselves up. Again, have a great August, Gemini, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.